What's up, YouTube? Rockstar here with you today with another Dark Magician deck profile. Yes, this is the third one because I'm pretty much just showcasing the evolution of this deck. Got some nice, pretty new sleeves on their Dragon Shield. Really nice. I love the dark color and the texture. I did love my Ultra Pros because they're a little bit brighter in color, but I had a double sleeve with them because they were standard size, which was fine. I was double sleeving at the time to protect them more, but with issues going on, personal issues going on right now, shuffling the larger sleeves is a little bit more difficult for me right now. And I've actually been wanting to try out Dragon Shield for a while, and I must say I am very impressed. So this is a deck that I absolutely love. I don't work on it as much as I used to because it works. Not saying it's perfect, but it gets the job done, and it gets it done easy. This is pretty much a control lockdown. I was meant to bring the side deck with me today, but I forgot it. That's in another box because I'm still constructing it. This isn't fully competitive. It is pretty much casual. I am an old school player. I've been pretty much playing the game since it started. So this doesn't have a really super quick strat. And it is somewhat kind of a grindier build, but you can still win in turn 2 or 3 if you do it right. So let's jump into this. So first off, of course, we were playing triple Dark Magician. We're using the dual power artwork. I love that artwork. That's all I'm going to say. We were playing 3 Keeper of Dragon Magic. This card is has some utility to it. One for getting your fusion, spell cards to help get out Dragon Knight. But also, if you decide, I know most players will not do it, but if you decide to play Dark Paladin, he will give him a boost in the graveyard, as well as on the field. Then, of course, we were playing, oops, where is that copy? There we go. Triple Magician's Rod. This is your searcher for the deck, and unfortunately, your only normal summon of the deck. Also, he has a great recycle ability, which if you watched my channel before and seen any of my other deck videos, you know I'm a big fan of that. You know, today's game play style, you don't need it, but you always want to try to see him firsthand. Same with Keeper, and of course Dark Magician. So playing 3 of is a must. And secondly, going on to our 2-ofs. We were playing 2 Apprentice Illusion Magicians. She is a nice little hand trap. You can get a good beatdown strategy going with her by discarding her from your hand or from the field. Increase the spellcast type monsters attack by 2,000. Also, you can special summon her and search out a Dark Magician. Then for the last of the 2-ofs, we were playing Cosmo Brain. This is a toolbox card for this deck. He is really great. Not only can you pop a Dark Magician on the field with him by sacking a Dark Magician, he comes a good 2900 beat stick, but also his utility comes in with getting out your rank 7 XCs, which is really great because you don't have to sack your Dark Magicians, or you can just use 1 Dark Magician and him. This deck does, if you have to use your Dark Magicians because you don't get him, this deck does run pretty good off of just 2. So now for our 1-ofs, we're playing 1 Mystic Holder. She can be normal or special summon. You can say she's situational because for some reason if you have a Garnet in hand and you have to get rid of it, she'll allow you to do that to fetch something out of your graveyard. Or if you had that Garnet, which we will get into here in a second, and you want another wait to bring them out, but you have to get them out of your hand, she'll allow you to dump them. Then we're playing 1 Magician of Chaos. This card is broken in this deck. Whenever a card effect activates, you just pop something off the field. So he's pretty broken. Since he's considered Dark Magician, he has protection with Eternal Souls, and if he's in the graveyard, you could bring him right back out with it. Now, for our two big Garnets, we are playing one Dark Magician Girl. You don't want to draw her. You want to bring her out with Magician's Navigation or Dark Renewal. So if you get Mystic Hold on the field, you can send her to the graveyard for a bit and then bring her back later on if need be. And then we're playing one Sorcerer of Dark Magic. He is one of the big lockdown components of this deck. You only need one. You could play two if you have it or if you decide to. I choose to play one because he is more of a Garnet than Dark Magician Girl. Pretty much, he locks your opponent out of using trap cards. If they activate one, you negate it, destroy it, get rid of it. So that's going to be it for the monsters. Let's get into spells. Alright, to further our lockdown strategy, we're going to play 3 Secret Village of the Spellcasters. This locks your opponent out of playing spell cards if they do not control a spellcaster type monster. Okay? You can get this on the field even if you don't have a spellcaster monster, which is fine. It will lock you out of spells too, but you can quickly recover faster than what your opponent will. There's a lot of decks this one card will lock down. And next up, for the last of the 3-Os, we're playing 3 Dark Magical Circles, which is another must-have for this deck. Because whenever Dark Magician is normal or special summon, you can banish a monster or a card on the field. Upon activation, you can look at the top 3 cards. It has a Pile Duality built-in effect. Look at the top 3 cards. You can reveal one that specifically lists Dark Magician or is a Dark Magician and add it to your hand and rearrange the other 2 cards any way you want and put them on the top of your deck. And then for the 2-Os, we're playing 2 Secrets of Dark Magic. This is a great little card. One, we finally got our searchable fusion card for Dark Magician. Also, it can act as a ritual spell, and it's quick play, so you could play it on your opponent's turn, disrupt their play a bit. And if you have Sorcerer on the field and Secret Village, there's nothing they can do to stop it, unless they use monster effects. But if you have Dragon Knight on the field, they can't attack your back row anyways, so therefore it's still safe. Then for the last of the 2-Os, we're playing 1 Illusion Magic. This is again kind of monster reincarnation as well as a searcher for Dark Magician. Tribute a spellcaster monster, which you will most likely be comboing this off with Magician's Rod. Gets you up to 2 copies of Dark Magician from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And that's about it for that. For 1-Ofs, we're playing 1 Dark Burning Magic. This is, as long as you control a Dark Magician whose original name is Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl, you just board wipe your opponent. Yes, you cannot use it with Magician of Chaos, you cannot use it with Dragon Knight or Amulet Dragon. It has to be the vanilla Dark Magician. 1 Dark Magic attack, just back row removal, nothing else. Poly, you search that out easily with Keeper of Dragon Magic. You go into one of your Dark Magician fusions, primarily Dragon Knight. Then 1 Dark Magic Inheritance. Again, it has the Magician's Rod ability, and you just gotta banish 2 spell cards, which isn't a problem with this because most of them you're only gonna one-shot them anyways. Then 1 Eye of Timaeus. I know a lot of people don't play this card no more. They refuse to play it. I continue to play it because I do play Dark Cavalry. I do have Amulet Dragon, and yes, even Dark Paladin. And this makes it easier, especially get something like Dark Cavalry out, which will help me negate my opponent's monster effects. So that's it for the spells. Let's get into the traps, then we'll go into the extra deck. So for traps, if you're playing DM, again, a must-have is Eternal Souls. I used to play this at 2, and you definitely can play it at 2 because you can search it off of Magician's Rod. I wouldn't play it any less than that. You're mainly going to use it for its first effect, which is to continue to bring out Dark Magician from your hand or your graveyard, so you can activate Magical Circle's ability to banish something on the field. Also, every Dark Magician on your field will have protection. So, Dragon Knight, Magician of Chaos will have protection, as well as your regular Dark Magician. Now, 2 we are playing Champion's Vigilance. This is a card that I don't get why a lot of people are not playing in this deck. It is like your Solemn Judgment, Solemn Strike for free. You don't have to pay life points, you just have to control a level 7 or higher normal monster. When your opponent would summon or activate a spell or trap, you negate it and destroy it. You only need 2. You can play a third. Oh, I think you're limited to 2 right now. But it is a really good alternative, also affordable alternative for things like Solemn Strike. And we are playing, for the last 2 we are playing 2 Magician's Navigations. You're really not going to use it for its first ability, which is a special summon Dark Magician from your hand and another level 7 or lower spellcaster from your hand. You can definitely do that with this deck if you draw into it or if you absolutely need to. But you're mainly going to use this for its graveyard effect, so you really want to ditch this as soon as possible so you can negate the activation of a spell or trap card that's face up on the field, which is great if your opponent decides to play Super Poly and banish this from the graveyard. Now they can't use their Super Poly. It's great negation for that. And finally, playing 1 Dark Renewal. This doubles as a spot remover as well as a summon from your graveyard. Alright, or deck. Right? Deck or yeah, deck or graveyard. I never remember that one's deck or graveyard. I know it's graveyard. Alright, now let's get into the extra deck. So of course we are playing 2 Dark Magicians, the Dragon Knights. I know a lot of people will play at 1, but the one thing that's been kind of getting me is a lot of people are just excluding this from their extra deck for the Dark Magician's fusion, and really I get the appeal of the draw power that card gives with the combination of Magician's Souls and Soul Servant, but really I think this is a very important card for Dark Magician, even if you decide to play it at 1, because this gives you your back row protection. As long as he's face up on the field, your opponent can't touch your back row. And if you, one cool combo, I do have another Dark Magician deck in construction phases with this, and one thing you can actually add is an equip card called Dragon Shield, which pretty much makes this impossible to get off the field, because Dragon Shield will protect your dragon monster that it's equipped to from being targeted by card effects. So you equip it to him, now they can't remove him, he cannot be destroyed by attacks, and since they can't remove him, they can't remove Dragon Shield, which means they can't touch your back row. The only drawback is any attack done to this monster or by this monster is reduced to 0. So it is a nice little way to keep him on the field. Then we're playing 1 Dark Cavalry. Pretty much he gets 100 attack for each spell and trap on the field or in the graveyards. He become a beat stick really quick. Also, you can negate the activation of a card effect just by it kind of like Invoke Mecha Buff, but you don't have to be specific with what card you discard. So then we're playing 1 Dark Paladin. Rarely don't see him. He's got the spell negation, but I usually use him just for his power boost for dragons, with dragons, because if you have Dragon Knight on the field, Keeper in the graveyard, he can become really strong, as well as another Dragon Knight I have in my extra deck, which we will get to in a few other dragons. We're playing 1 Omelet Dragon. I like to combo him off with running Grave Virus. Although that is not in my main deck at the moment, it is in my sideboard. When he is summoned, you can remove X amount of spells from either or both graveyards. He'll get 100 attack point power boost, and then you combo him off with Grinning Grave Iris. Your opponent now has to either get rid of their whole hand or the amount of cards for every 500 attack points he has. Then Starving Venom. Honestly, kind of thinking about taking him out because I do not use him often enough to really warrant him in this. But easy to get out if you decide to play him. Takes 2 dark monsters on the field, except tokens, unfortunately. His ability becomes a monster of your opponent's on your opponent's side of the field ability. So that's great. Then we're playing 1 Predaplant, Dragostelphia. Pretty much locks your opponent out of using their own monsters' effects, which is great if you can do that, because the one thing this deck honestly does not have much of is monster effect negations. So having something like Dragostelphia on the field to negate a monster's effect from activation, as long as it has a Preda counter on it, will help with that. Not getting into XCs, we're playing 1 Norito. I am thinking about taking her out because I do not use her as often as I used to in my original 2 builds, but she's just spell and trap negation. It's a quick effect so you can do it on your opponent's turn. Then we're doing 1 Ebon High Magician. Again, I don't get him out often as I like, but I only use him for his ability to activate a trap from hand. Then of course 1 Ebon Illusion Magician. We are furthering the banish ability with him. Not only that, you can attach a material, special summon a normal spellcaster monster from your deck or hand. And whenever a normal spellcaster type monster attacks, you can target a card on the field and banish it, which is great because all you have to do is declare the attack and his effect will trigger. You don't have to succeed in an attack, you just have to declare it. And we're playing, of course, 1 Red Eyes Flare Metal. Great thing, again, like with the dragons in this deck, you can use him to get out Dragon Knight, or whenever I get it, Red Eyes Dragoon, since you can use a Red Eyes Black Dragon or a Red Eyes monster. I will probably be putting Red Eyes Black Dragon in this deck eventually. Now, we are playing, for a nice little beatdown strategy, we are actually playing 2 Dark Inthelion Dragons. Easy to make, 2 level 7s, as well as a lot of things in this deck. Once returning, you detach a material, half of opponent's monster attack points, and then he'll gain it. Just like Dark Rebellion, Dark Requiem. So that's all you really need him for. And then finally, to round off the extra, we're playing 1 Daybreaker, the Magical Warrior. He's a fun little control card, and you can build him up pretty quick. Every time a spellcaster type monster is special summoned to his own heat points to, he will gain a counter. For every counter, he gains life points. Remove a counter, destroy something on the field. And you could build that up really quick by continuing special summoning Dark Magician to his own heat points too. Then we're playing 1 Underclock Taker again for the beatdown strategy. Pretty much, you target 1 monster you control, 1 monster your opponent controls, that heat points to, and decrease your opponent's monster by your monster's attack points. So that's going to be it for the deck. Oh, you got able to do a test scan or 2?
Yeah, just let me pause it.
Alright, now on to the test plays. Alright, so we got a pretty good hand. So what we're gonna do, one thing I forgot in the profile was, yes, he is another one of our normal summons, but that's fine. We're gonna go ahead, normal summon him, send DM to the grave, search out our, we're gonna reveal that. We're going to search out our only poly here. Where is it? I swear it's on the top of my deck. No, okay. Oops.
Good job.
Then we're gonna bring that out, and we're gonna fusion off, because you can fusion summon with face down monsters as long as it's the correct material. Bring him out. Now we got 3000 beat stick on the field with back row protection. We're gonna set that face down and just end for now. All right. Now it's your opponent's turn. You're gonna go ahead, activate. You're gonna bring back DM. Let your opponent do their turn, whatever. Go ahead, activate this. Send DM to the graveyard. Search out 2 more. There's a lot of different combos in place you can actually kind of do with this deck with the limited cards you do play, and you can still end up with the same result and same board. So there really is no good, no really bad hand. Now it's your turn. We're gonna draw. Alright, so we're gonna use Cosmo Brain. We're gonna ditch DM to the graveyard. Summon. We're gonna use our Eternal Souls here to summon back a DM. Go ahead, overlay. And you have a couple choices you can do here. I mean, you don't even have to overlay into him. You could go in your Daybreaker. But if you want to go to XEs, you go into him. That. Or him. But for this, we're actually going to go with somewhat of a beatdown strategy. So we're going to go ahead and overlay into our Dark Anthelion. And yes, please correct me if I'm wrong with the pronunciation. And then we'll go ahead, use his ability. We're going to detach Dark Magician, get him back in our graveyard. Use this ability to cut something down. Then, providing your opponent doesn't have any kind of spells or traps or monster effect that negates or destroys, go ahead and you hit. And you'll end your turn. It's now your opponent's. And then we'll go ahead and special summon him back out. Now what's great about this, having something like Dark Anthelion, you keep recycling Dark Magicians from your hand or your graveyard to keep feeding his ability. So you can keep getting it off and putting at least a little bit of restraint and pressure on your opponent. Now we're going to play this as if your opponent doesn't really have, say, a decent board. Just really show you what you could do. Now it's your turn again. We'll summon another Dark Magician. We'll go ahead and play this face down. Then we will go ahead, overlay. And I probably should have done the other one from the graveyard, but I didn't. And we'll go with him. Yeah, I should have done the other one from the graveyard, but whatever. We still work this with one Dark Magician. That's the great thing about this deck. And unfortunately, you can't use his ability right now because I screwed up. But hey, it's all the fun of it. So again, you'll go ahead and use his ability if you want. Cut something down, attack, and attack. And then, lo and behold, your draw. This is what you get. Then you can bring back, of course, Dark Magician. Now, good thing is, say, if I didn't do that screw up, and I brought back, say, this was in my hand during that last turn, detach a material, and then bring him out, and if your opponent tried to summon, you could play your Champion's Vigilance, which will negate the summons. Now let's we'll go into another test hand really quick, and that will probably be it for this video. Try to show you at least a couple things you can do. You don't always need to get Magician's Knight out on the field, or Dragon Knight on the field, which is also good, but you kind of do want them out there just to have that little bit of back row protection. I'm kind of hoping this actually starts with actually less desirable hand, but it doesn't look like we're really getting that too much. Alright, so okay, not the greatest, but not the worst. Here's why. Play that, lock your opponent out of spells. Summon him. You're going to search out Illusion Magic. You could have gone for Magical Circle or Eternal Souls, but as you can see, they're kind of useless right now. Alright, now you're going to play Lose Magic, sacrifice him. Oh no, you have no spellcasters. You can't activate spells. Yeah, I can. And you'll see why. There's one, there's two. No more, no less. Alrighty. So, we're going to send him to the graveyard, put these two in hand. Now we're going to send one to the graveyard, bring out Cosmo Brain. You now have a 2900 feet stick on the field. Alright. So, we'll go ahead, end our turn, we'll say, with that face down. Opponent's turn, for whatever reason, they get a bad hand, bad draw, they can't really do anything. Fine, joke's on them. Draw. We'll set that face down. We'll go ahead and pop him to the graveyard, and we'll go after our last DM in our deck. Keep one in hand. We still have a spellcaster. Your opponent still can't play spell cards. So, and let me see one thing. Okay, so we are going to get Rod back to our hand with this. So we'll go ahead, we'll wipe out our opponent's back row if they have any. I'd rather use this as quick as possible. It could be a waste, it could not be, but I'd rather do it, just get off the field and get anything they might be setting up off. And then we'll go ahead and end. Say our opponent summons. We'll go ahead and we'll activate Champion's Vigilance. Now this is the risky part with this field, because you're going to leave yourself open. Alright, you're going to activate Rod's ability, Tribute, to get him back in hand. Not really what you want to do, but you kind of need him because, well, you didn't get the greatest draw. And it's better to just do what you can instead of waiting. So we'll draw. Yay, we got our Garnet. We'll play him. Alright, then we'll search out our Eternal Souls. Alright, so we'll go ahead, set that face down. Your opponent still can't activate spells because they don't have any spellcasters. So you'll end your turn. You'll summon. You'll bring back Dark Magician from the graveyard. Say they hit into that, fine, whatever. You can get him back next turn if you want. Now it's your turn. Draw. Alright, that works because we can actually get rid of her if we want. You summon Dark Magician. We're gonna sack both. Summon out Sorcerer Dark Magic. Now they can try to activate trap cards, but it's gonna be a nope. And now they can activate spell cards. So we'll just end turn now. All they have is monster effects. So now it's your opponent's turn. Summon Dark Magician back out. You activate a card effect on your opponent's turn. You're going to sack Dark Magician to the graveyard, get him back in hand. Alright, now it's your turn. Draw. Nah. Summon. Then we're going to summon him. Now, this is kind of, again, I don't know, can we do that without having to attack him? We could do that. Like, okay, there's one of two things you can actually do. Actually, one of three cards you can go after if you really want to. You can go after this, Inheritance, or if you want to get daring here, Burning Magic attack. I'm actually going to go with the Dark Burning Magic. Alright. For this. Alright. So, you are going to play Dark Renewal face down. And you'll go ahead and set that face down. Alright. And your turn, it's your opponent's turn. Say they try to summon. Activate that. Sack that. Put that to your grave. Summon her out. Oh, and you got Eternal Souls here. Activating Eternal Souls. Oh, wrong card. Summon Dark Magician. Alright. Now you have just everything you need for your OTK strategy. She should be 2,300. You got 5,000 on the field just with these two, and you have him. Alright. The only thing your opponent can technically do is activate monster effects. They can activate spells. They don't want to activate traps. So, say they decide to go for an attack. Activate that. Since you have a Dark Magician original name and Dark Magician Girl original name on the field, you just wiped out their whole board. Now it's your turn. They can set face down if they want. It ain't gonna matter. So you'll draw for turn, and then we're gonna go ahead, overlay, and we're gonna take care of that face down that they may or may. Did I shuffle that back in the deck? No, I didn't. Okay, of course I have it there. We're gonna summon Ebon, and we're gonna go into our grave here, bring out our last DM, and we're gonna go ahead, declare our attack with Dark Magician. Use Ebon's illusion ability here to banish one card on the field. Alright. Get rid of whatever monster they might have summoned in their last main phase, or take out whatever back row they might have set. Which they might have or might not have done. And then, depending on what they have, if their board is clear, and if they have back row set, just go in for the attack. You got 5,000, 7, done. They can't activate spell cards. They have no defense. They can try to activate trap cards. You'll just negate and destroy it. And whatever they decide to have on the field, you just banished it. So, these are just some of the plays you can do with or with, in this case, without Dragon Knight on the field. But if you got Dragon Knight on the field, no matter what you do, these will still be safe. Your opponent could have gone after that with a spell card, something like, shit, I'm drawing like Cosmic Cyclone, Twin Twisters, if they wanted to, and this could have board wiped all your monsters. But as long as you have this, even if, okay, do this real quick. You start out with these two on field, and you get him on the field before playing this, you're still fine. Because your whole deal is getting DM back on the board. And there are multiple ways to get him on the board. So this does not hinder you in this least bit. And what's great, if you use Eternal Souls or Navigation to bring him out, alright, and you have him on the board, you can easily search out your Secret of Dark Magic. Alright, if you have it in hand, you can even use this combo to go into another Dark Magician of Dragon Magic. If you have to, you shouldn't. But if you have this in hand or search it with Rod, the other thing you can go into with these two on board that won't really hurt, you go into either Starving Venom or Predaplant, and then instantly, if it's your opponent's turn, special summon Dark Magician back with Eternal Souls. So having this out on the field right away does not hurt this deck. I mean, and if you want to take the risk with this deck, you could play something like Anti-Spell Fragrance, which that will hinder this. So I wouldn't really suggest it. I would stick with the Secret Village. You could play a Terraforming or a Metaverse to search this. I don't play either. I'm thinking about taking one of these out and possibly Dark Magic Attack out for 2 Metaverses, but I currently do not have any. because not only is that great because it's a trap card, but allows you to search a field spell and then play it that turn as a quick play. So, and that right up there alone will be disruptive to your opponent's play. So this is all about controlling your opponent's board, putting pressure on them, so you can just get that win in. And most players, they see this come out, that's it. There's you can shut down pretty much any deck with just this one field spell. Sky Strikers, Heroes, definitely Heroes. I think Witchcrafters will be easily... No, they're Spellcasters, never mind. They won't be easily shut down. But most spell-heavy decks, which, let's face it, is the majority of decks nowadays, will be shut down or slowed down with this. But that's going to conclude this deck profile of the day. If you like what you see and enjoy, like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and hit the notification button. Thank you. Have a good day.